Hi there everybody, welcome to another video. On today's video I have the Mini R50 here. This is a 2001 and in my last video of this car I discovered that cylinder number 1 has no compression. Since then I had to move the car, and while it was running in 3 cylinders something else has happened, and I think that something happened to the chain or it's become loose or whatever. So I'm in the process of removing the valve cover there, and technically this video will be about removing the valve cover and the cylinder head to see what's happened here and whether there is hope or not. So I have been getting a little bit ahead of myself, but nothing that is rocket science here. I just removed the coil pack from here. It's held in by 4 10 mil bolts. It's that one there. So if you undo those, this will come up, and then you just need to pull the plug lids out. And also obviously this cable is connected to the back of the coil pack. Again, you press on the clip and get this out. However, you need to slide this little red cover here. I broke it, so I no longer need to slide it, but technically you slide it to one side and then you're able to press that little clip there. This here, there's usually a little plastic cover on top of this, which I removed a while ago to check my injectors, fuel injectors that is, and I left the cover out. So you don't really need to remove the cover, but to disconnect the injectors you just again press on the side. They do have some red clips as well, so they might snap. All my red clips snapped, to be honest. They all broke when I took this out the first time round. But anyway, you remove the little red clip and then you are able to press that, or if it breaks, it breaks. This still clips in there, it doesn't come out, but I guess the little red clip there is just an extra measure so it doesn't come loose. You can then slide this up if you move these little tabs out of the way, these two, yeah, just pull them back and then you can slide this whole thing up a bit, and then I'm going to remove the fuel rail here. So I disconnected the fuel line. This is the fuel line that goes in there. If you push this in a little bit and then press on this black bit here, like so, so you push it in a bit, push this back, and then you'll be able to take this hose out. Might be a bit of a fiddle, but it is doable. Even this hose is getting a little bit old now, but then again, how old is this car? So then we have some 13 mil bolts there holding this fuel rail in place, and you can pretty much we'll disconnect that as well, and that as well. Just get that out of the way. Should disconnect these two, because if the head's coming out, many things have to come out, including the manifold and the exhaust manifold. We need to take them out in order to remove the head. So okay, now this fuel rail, we should be able to pull it out technically. I had this out before, so it might be a little bit easier for me to pull it out, but it's not that hard. So this has to be disconnected from here. Right, so I'm just going to take that out and this is practically out. Right, so just have to separate these bits from the electrical connection there, so the fuel rail pretty much comes out in one piece like this, and you have this hose connected there. Again, you can just pull that out. That's it, one fuel rail out. So the first thing I want to do is remove the rocker cover so I can see what has happened in there, and for that purpose we need to undo all these 8mm bolts. I've undone quite a few of them already. I just had these other few ones here that have a long stud on them, so my 8mm wasn't quite fitting, and I think there's another one just here. So I don't know what happened. When I was moving the car, I heard this horrible rattling noise, so I don't know if the actual chain has actually failed, so that would be a bit of a bugger really. Having said that, if you're going to fix that bolt, is a little bit tight in there, a bit concerned because I don't want to break it, so I may spray a little bit of more of this stuff. I don't know what's going on. So if I'm going to do this repair, then I guess I would change the chain anyway. But the thing is, it may have bent some valves and whatnot. Not that it matters too much now, because if there's no compression on one cylinder anyway, we definitely need some sort of solution there. Right, I'm going to mess around with that bolt there. It's not really wanting to come out a little bit, so I'm gonna give it some time and a lot of lubrication so it doesn't snap right there, and then we should be able to remove this rocker cover. One thing I forgot to mention, there is a hose connected there. You just need to pull it out, and then there's this one here, which is that there. Again, you just need to pull it out and that will come out. Okay, so I just got one of these. Actually, I got two, to pry this out, open a little bit from the sides here, and also as you pry it open from here, you need to pull it from the back a little bit, because it's kind of there's some rubber sealant around each of these spark plugs, so it just gets a little bit stuck. Also, it really depends how long it's been there and whatnot. So but it does come out fairly easily. It wasn't particularly difficult to pull this out. Right, let's get this out of here, and let's see what is going on. Actually, to be honest, the chain doesn't really seem to be broken or anything like that, anything specific like that. But still, we got no compression on one cylinder, so we still need to get this head off. But before I advance here, I need I think there might be a timing locking tool for this, because we're definitely gonna need that to make sure this is on the correct timing before I start removing things. Right, so I just got on a little bit with the work here. I've actually I disconnected the manifold here, and you can see it's already moving and it's quite separating from the cylinder head. So I don't think you need to separate it more than that really. And I only had to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10mm bolts that are just in those areas there. And they were fairly easy to remove, not a big drama, and this was as loose as you can see it. And I think if we just loosen this clamp here, this whole thing will come out. Or I could even just open the filter cover here and remove the whole thing together. But we have enough room to remove the head here. And also, this shield is sitting there, 2 13mm bolts. Remove the 2 13mm bolts, gives you access to the 10mm bolts. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 10mm bolts, like this, holding that exhaust. And again, that just came loose as soon as I removed the bolts. So there's nothing else we need to do there. The next step will be I need to get, like I said, the tool, the locking tool, if there is one, and remove I think this engine mount here, which means we'll have to support the engine, and may need to remove some of the thermostat stuff here on this side, disconnect it from the head, the wiring and whatnot. So yeah, that will be the next stuff, but I haven't got the tool yet, so I think I'm going to leave it like this for now. Right, so I've got the kit now, so I can remove the head gasket, well, the cylinder head on this the Mini. So the reason we need the kit is because we need this tool to get the camshaft here, stop it from rotating, so that there will fit there. And also where you just need some other tools when we fit the tensioner and whatnot. So I'm also going to remove the mount here, and this tool has some kind of this thing here that basically holds your engine in place while you're working, but you can remove all of this here. So so we need a jack to hold the engine, and then we can remove this thing, all this stuff, obviously the engine mount, and just get these pipes and things out of the way. And then I got my front wheel off as well, got an axle stand underneath, because we're gonna need access to the crankshaft bolt to rotate the engine. So I'm just in the process of removing. I'm just going to remove this. Well, I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to take out the clips here and put this cover to one side so we can have a good view of the crankshaft bolt in there. Okay, with the 10mm, I just removed that there, 10mm bolt, and then with a 16mm, I think it is, yeah, 16mm, I opened this one here and this one here. So just notice one is longer than the other one, and so I can try and separate this from here. It's just clipped on there. So we can try to remove this out of here. also, if you press on these bits here, press them in, and you can pull this pipe out as well. So that will allow you to move that a little bit out of the way there. And should be the same with this one here actually. If you press, you can pull that out. Maybe get a little bit more room. Take these things out. And also things will be a bit easier with two hands anyway. So now I just want to keep whatever bolts I can keep in place where they come from, because I don't want to lose anything, which is a good thing that I'm making a video as well, because it will help me remember where these things go. So next I am going to open these three here. Not sure if that is the right size. Okay, these are, I think these are the, I need an extension. Okay, so with an 18 mil I removed this one here, already taken it out, loosen it, I mean. Obviously my engine is already supported on my jack here. I've already supported it, so it's not gonna go drop down when I lose all of these mount bolts. And there is actually two here, so there's, I've already loosened them as well. These are actually 15 mil. These are 15 mil, and there is two around the back there. So these were 16 mil, these are 15, and that there was 18. So just to make us work extra, they have to make everything different size. And also I've loosened this one here, that's a 13 mil. So we can actually remove this here, but just be careful the bolt doesn't come out. Okay, now this should come out, hopefully, without major dramas. And there we are. And again, what I'm going to do, it's I'm just going to fit that nut there so I know where it goes, and I'm going to I'll just put these bolts in these holes, so I know where they are coming from. Because if you're not making a video, I mean, I can always refer back to the video and see where things came from, but if you're not making a video, then try to keep some sort of order so you know where things go. Otherwise you're gonna start seeing nuts and bolts everywhere and you're not gonna know where they are from. So in fact, I had all of these here. I had this car already for about 3 weeks here, and already dismantled like this, and it's only today I'm came back to it, and I was like, oh my god, where are all those things from? But obviously rocker cover and whatnot. But I did make a video of the start, obviously, so at least I can refer and see where those go. Anyway, continuing here, we have the camshaft sensor here. Just want to remove that, but there is a red clip just here. We want to open that clip in order to be able to press this and take it out. So got that out. We got most things out. Now we can actually use our tool here to I think this goes something like this. In fact, I may need to remove this part here as well. because if this sits flat down there, that mount can't be there, so I think I have to take it out. So I'm just removing these little retainers here. You have to undo with a Phillips, undo the center, and then you can pull it out. Sort of undoes, comes out like a little screw, but often they get stuck and they get damaged and they don't want to come out. So you end up sort of damaging them a little bit like this one did, because that one was so stuck in there, the head just went round. In the end I had to pull it, more like pull it out rather than unscrew it. So I got a few of them out. Having said that, I mean, they did come out fairly well. There's another one up here, but that's more like a Phillips screw, a metal one, and maybe this will come out now. Let's have a look. I think it's loose now, so I might be able to pull it. So ideally what I want to do is pull it around here and into the back. Okay, so just got it out there. So this is gonna give us access to the crankshaft bolt there. I think that is a 16 mil, so we can turn the crankshaft and we can line up the camshaft at the top. And also to remove the mount that I'm removing, that I removed, I also want to remove the rubber bit, and for that we need to undo, I think there is a bolt somewhere under here that is holding it, so we need to take that out. Gonna have to have a look at that in a minute. Okay guys, I've been trying to figure out how to remove this mount here. Now I have seen in some posts and some videos that there is a bolt that is under this mount. However, this car doesn't have that bolt that technically holds that mount. So I have this little plastic thing that holds this pipe, and then I have this cover here, but no bolt. In the other videos I've seen there is a bolt here. It's like an E12 or something, and that E12, if you undo that E12, you can remove this mount. But in this early model, this is a 2001, there's no bolt there. So what I've noticed is the 2002 onwards have that bolt. So I'm not sure how this comes out. I've tried to undone it with this big thing here, holding it like so, and try to move it, but it is quite solid. It might be that it is solid. So don't want to waste any more time on that, to be honest. If I figure that out, I will let you know. But that means since I can't remove that, I'm gonna have to have the jack in place for the duration of the removal and refitting of the cylinder head. That's because it is sort of holding the engine in place, so it doesn't drop. But again, when trying to undo this bolt here, this engine is gonna be moving a bit, so gonna have to try to hold it somehow. And like I said, if I can figure this out, then I'll do it. So we need to remove this camshaft sensor as well. 10 mil there, and that's just because we need to get a socket in here and the sensor is on the way. So I'm gonna remove that in a minute, and also have to drain the coolant. So from underneath there is a pipe underneath, but we have to we need to remove this cover here. So I remove the Phillips screws in order to get this cover out of the way a little bit there, and then there should be a coolant hose somewhere here, that one there. I'm getting lots of spider webs on my head, so just want to open that clamp right there. Where's it? Here. And take this pipe out. That will drain the coolant from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm also going to remove the battery. Obviously my battery was already disconnected, but I'm gonna take it out off there, because we want to remove this area here. There are some 10 mil bolts in here. And also I'm going to disconnect this part of the ECU here. So I've already pulled the ECU out a little bit in order to release this. There's only 2 clips holding the ECU in there. There's one clip there and another one on the other side, and then you can pull the ECU up a little bit, then pull this bit here, and that will release the cable. So not really a difficult thing to remove there. So let's get this out. The one thing's falling, but actually I may have to remove the ECU completely, because I'm sure there is another bolt holding this in place. So let's pull that out. I can't see anything there as such, but it looks like all this unit is one piece anyway, so there might be another 10 mil on the side just down there. I think there is, just in there basically. That did come out and stuck to my tool there. I think it might be a little bit corroded, just a little bit, completely. And that is pretty loose. Actually there is another 10 mil there. Doesn't look like a 10 mil, but it is there. Okay, it seems a lot more loose now, so I'm gonna try to get it out with my 2 hands and see how I get on. Okay, that came up straight up, but you may find that under here there's 2 holes there, and also on the side here your positive cable will be plugged in there, and on this side as well. So, and this bit here was on that tie band there. Right. Anyway, so that is out. I can see quite a few things here. Down here are loose or out of place. So this all may have been out before. And also I can see a lot of pretty sure there was a mouse here, because you can see all these things that they eat, nuts, whatever they are. So that is a bit annoying sometimes, because what happens is it's okay for the mice to be there, but as long as they don't eat the wires, that is the problem. Usually they have a tendency to start eating the wires, and that causes problems, because then you have developed faults and whatnot, and then you don't even know why you have so many faults. Anyway, I'll have to clean that up later. So the next thing, concentrating on this, is that we need to remove the thermostat here. So we need to remove really this area here that is all connected. That there is broken. That's supposed to be clipped on there, on here. Never mind. So have to undo that, but I may try to remove some of this part here as well, because it is a little bit interfering. And this has got some well, it's got some 10 mils here, but I want to disconnect this pipe first and see if I can do that with either this or maybe this one. Just have to open this clip here, like so, which we can then just release it, and we'll then be able to hopefully take this hose out of here. Okay, just loosen it a little bit. Right, here we are. Now this air box, we have a 10 mil there. And another 10 mil here. So that's the thing, you start accumulating nuts. So this one is ECU, and I'm just gonna put the little 10 mils I removed. Gonna put them in there, so I know they belong there. And these ones will have to stay with the air filter here. Alright. Looks like this is just plugged into some kind of rubber mount. So again, I may actually need my two hands to pull it up. Actually, before I try to pull it up, just check if there's not a 10 mil in there. So with a T25, just open those screws, get this cover out, get the filter out, and it looks like there was another mouse living in here. Okay, so this hose is plugged in there, and so we need to try to wiggle this out of there, but there's no other 10 mil in there, so just have to try and get this hose out or back a little bit so you can release that. Right, so I'm gonna do that. Right, it's come out. So there's nothing else holding it, it's just wedged in there. Problem is it's wedged in between this bolt and this, so you just have to pull it out. This might bend a little bit, but it doesn't, it's okay. It doesn't actually, it's not getting damaged or anything. So with that out of the way, we got a lot more room in here. I can see a lot of mouse stuff. Well, what can we do? I am working in a farm, so the mice are just looking for a place to hide and whatnot. So anyway, not gonna waste time on that. We want to remove this thermostat, and we got some 10mm bolts. I'm gonna start loosening them up. We got a plug there, and we have this hose disconnect here, so we can remove the thermostat. Okay, so far I removed 2 bolts from the thermostat. Not really, wasn't that terrible. They're quite loose. I mean, they're not loose, but they're not difficult to undo. So there was just one in here. Just there behind that cable, one, and another one there, and there is another one you can see from up here. Just going to remove that now. I've already loosened it, so that should come out. And that releases our thermostat housing there. That separates from the head, but ideally we want to take it back a little bit more. All this wiring, it's in the way, so we definitely want to disconnect one of the hoses. At least I think I'm going to disconnect this one. It's connected in the back there. Okay, I got this hose disconnected. So again, just remove the clamp and take the hose out. I had to push it with a screwdriver. It can be a little bit hard to push, but while you hold that back, you push this out. I've unplugged this wire here, this cable, and also you need to unplug this cable down here, and again you need to push. There is a red tab, you push it back, and then you'll be able to press the little clip in there in order to get this out. So you can see the little red clip there. If you don't push it back, you can't press the black clip there. It just doesn't allow you to. So now we have more room here for things, and what I'm trying to do now is I'm actually trying to get thermostat housing just out of the way a little bit there, out of the cylinder head area basically. There we are. It might be a good idea to replace that thermostat since all of this is happening. Obviously we'll have to clean the area and whatnot. I don't know if this head will be any good in the end. So I'm going to undo this bolt here as well. That is a 13mm bolt. It's attached to the head here, because when we get this head out, obviously we don't want anything attached to it. And I don't know if there's anything else plugged into it as such. because then after we can start undoing. Well, I have to still actually have to remove this sensor. So I've loosened the 10mm there. That's just a 10mm bolt. Which I just dropped, and I might need a magnet to get it out of there. So be really careful not to drop things in there like I just did. This cam sensor should come out. And now I'm really hoping. Okay, I have no idea where that bolt went. I've looked in there and I can't see anything at all. So when I actually looked at my video, the bolt went flying up this way. So it could have either gone in there or gone somewhere down this end. But I can't find it. So once I get this out and head out, I'll have a much better view of down there. And if I can't see it down there, it's definitely have to be somewhere here. But I can't see it anywhere. So anyway, let's carry on with this. Otherwise that's gonna be a bit of a problem, to be honest. So I've got a 13mm for this bolt here. So that is holding that pipe in there. And I need my ratchet. Okay, so I'm just going to undo that. And again, all these bolts are not really tight, by the way. They may have been there a long time, but they're also not really, they're not tight into extreme forces. So let's get this one out. Okay, so that should separate that pipe from there. I don't think that pipe is. Let's check this out. So that pipe is basically this pipe here. So I just want to see if there's any other attachments to it. But no, that pipe goes down. So okay, now I want to rotate. So now we want to rotate the engine until right, let's get this on here. So I'm going to rotate the engine until these two holes sort of match the cylinder head. You also have these flat areas here, so we're gonna try to match that and put the tool there. Okay, so as I was saying, we have to line this up, but also to get to before we loosen this, we need to remove the tensioner, the chain tensioner. Now the chain tensioner is sitting at the back, right down here. Well, not down here, but it's behind. Somewhere just there. But that bracket there is in the way. So tensioner bolt is there, but this bracket is in the way. So have to remove this 16mm, and then you can you can actually move that bracket there a little bit to get you access to the bolt. So I'm just gonna find out what size is that bolt. What do I have? I have a 19 mil, but I think it's a 20 something. So okay, so my 19 mil socket is gone in there actually. And this one here is 16 mil, by the way. So okay, so let's line this up, and then we get we can loosen the tensioner. Okay, so let's just try to line this up a little bit. Yeah. I haven't actually removed my plugs, so I can feel a bit of the compression of the engine. So if you remove the plugs from your, then you'll be able to rotate the engine a little bit easier than I can at the moment. Because I have obviously the compression. So let me just get that lined up, and you should have your tool there. So those two pins are going to go into those holes in there. That's the idea. Okay, so that's nicely gone in there. Slide that in there. Now I'm gonna attempt to release the tensioner. Okay, managed to get my power bar onto the tensioner with an extension there, but I had to release this 16 mil here as well, that released this cable, which allows you to move that bracket down a little bit more to give you some room. So now I don't know how hard or not hard it's gonna be to try and get this out. To be honest, that extension is a little bit too long. I may try to actually just use this 19 mil because it feels like it's a little bit not very nicely secured, although the extension does give me room down there to be able to crack that tensioner open, but we'll see. Well, let's give it a go. And okay, I think that worked. Just nearly killed myself, but apart from that, I think maybe the tensioner, it's loose. Yes, it is loose. I think I can undo it. Hang on. Okay, I just got a bigger socket in there. There it is. One tensioner. Okay, I'm ready to loosen the camshaft bolt there. Pretty sure I'm gonna have some movement here from the engine because I couldn't lock that in place. However, I suppose I could fit the original mount back, but we'll have a look. I'll try to undo this and see how we get on. I mean, this could be really tight. They are normally, I don't know, 130 Newton meters or something. So just want to make sure that is fitting in there properly and that is sitting in there. So that's an 18 mil. I may have already said that, sure. But okay, that wasn't that tight at all. So it may be that this model is slightly different to the others, to be honest. Some are tighter, maybe depends. This is just an R50, the R50. So before I remove the sprockets here, so I can take this out now. That is already loose, you can see that. I just want to mark it if I can. Got a bit of T-pex here, so just want to put a little mark, see where, just when we get everything back. I mean, I'm not entirely sure this is actually gonna go back, so I'm just gonna mark that tooth with that bit of chain there. So I'm just trying to make sure things go back the way they come out, if we can. So I just marked it in there and this section, so I know that this bit fits inside that tooth. You could mark, I guess you could mark any of the teeth in here. I mean, you could do another one there, just a reference point. Maybe I should use a bit of paint, that is a bit not nice. And the other thing is, so I'm gonna remove that and I'm gonna try to keep the chain in some sort of tension, so so it doesn't drop in. Ideally that's what we want to do. So I may use one of these type of things here. I'm not sure I'm gonna exactly use that one. Maybe actually just hang it somewhere and then you can pull the chain or hold the chain, but you want to keep it at some kind of tension, so we may have to have it like this. But I think that is a bit short, just don't want to have it in this too much tension either. So anyway, I'm gonna figure that out in a minute. Okay, let's give this a go. I'm gonna take this bolt out and try not to drop it. And while I take this out, I'm gonna sort of hold it up. Okay, there we are. Got the marks. Well, that other one came out. That's why I may use a bit of paint and remark it here, because it's also got a bit of oil. Actually, there's the other one. I can just about see the white tip there. So may add a bit of paint on those, but at least got our chain up here, and now I'm actually also able to look a little bit better down there, see if my bolt is there or not. Okay, can't really find a bolt. It's looking at it down there, if it had dropped in there, it would be, I would be able to see it, because there's no way you can actually go past the sides all the way down into the sump. Looking at the space in there, it's quite difficult for it to actually wiggle itself through. So I must have dropped it this way and it's gone down somewhere down there, and I really need to find it for peace of mind. But nevertheless, we are at this stage now, and I think I need to get the head out. I might actually need to remove these bolts here as well, because those bolts give you access to these rails here, the chain rails. So may need to take those rails out, to be honest, because they are bolted onto the head here. So otherwise, maybe when you pick the head out, those will be hanging down and it might be a bit of a pain. Not really 100% sure, to be honest. But the next step really will be to start undoing the bolts that hold the head, and I wonder what size those are. Got a 15mm here. Okay, looks like they are 15mm, and there will be quite a few of those which we'll have to undo. So yes, I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove these first, so I can avoid dramas, because when you remove these bolts here, you get access to the bolt that is actually in there, this one here, which will probably have to come out down this end, so you can get these chain rails out. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else holding those rails. Right, gonna get going here. This looks like an Allen key, quite a large one. Okay, so I just have an Allen 10, and I'm just removing those little covers there. Already done this one. They were not tight at all. May need new O-rings for this as well. So 2 of those are out, and then that might be, not sure that size would be a 13mm maybe. I've got a 10mm there, and my 13mm. Okay, so I've got my 13mm here. Hopefully that should fit in there, and I don't think those will be too tight. Maybe a little bit tighter than the other bits, but not really that tight. Okay, got one there, and take the other one out as well. So I'm just going to remove those 2, and hopefully those guides there, chain guides, should come out. But I want my extension, which got it in here. Right, Well, with those two guides out, I can even look better inside. So I'm still gonna see if my bolt is in there. I've got a magnet as well too. I'm gonna put it all the way down. Hopefully I can get that bolt if it's in there. Anyway, so the guides are out, and what's left is to undo the head gasket bolts and get that sorry, not the head gasket but the cylinder head bolts out, and then we can remove this cylinder head. Okay guys, I actually you're not gonna believe it, but I actually found my bolt in there. So don't believe any of the bullshit I said before, because if you drop it in there, it can actually wiggle itself in there. I can actually see it, just about see it. So I'm gonna get my magnet in there, and hopefully I can retrieve. Yep, I think he's got it there. And there it is. The bloody bolt is right there. So I really couldn't see how the head of that would wiggle itself through the rails of the chain and whatnot, but it clearly does, so be aware. If you drop something in there, it could wiggle itself all the way down, but luckily, since you remove the rails, you might be able to spot it. Anyway, with that done, I feel at peace now, to be honest. I can start. So like I said, that is those are 15 mil bolts. Hopefully well, they're not really tight at all. Either I got stronger, or or these bolts are no longer as tight as they used to be. So I'm gonna pretend I am actually stronger. Okay, so I have these two 13 mils here to undo that are on the sides. So to be honest, I don't really know if there's a specific way in which you're supposed to undo this. I know that there is a specific way in which you are supposed to tie them, but I never knew if there was a specific way in which you have to take them out. So if there is, then I'll find out. So anyway, I've undone all of them now. I just have to remove them. Okay, so now I'm just going to undo them. So like I said, those two there are 13 mils, and the others are 15.
that head should now come loose. Maybe that is quite well touched. Okay. Now it's loose. So I'm going to attempt to pick it up, maybe rest it somewhere here momentarily so I can take this out and reconnect it. Okay. Right. Okay, we have one head out. I think I found the reason why I have no compression. That is missing. But not only that is missing, upside down because it's leaking oil. And I'm going to show you what else is missing. Okay, so we have 3 pistons, and that piston is disappeared. So where the hell is that piston? Okay guys, so this I can see bits of metal in there. I can see the side of the piston ring, one bit of piston ring on the side there. So how did that happen? I don't know. How did that piston ring disappear? Obviously, it must be in the sump, smashed up or something. But finally, well, now I know the mystery of the misfire, and to be fair, the cylinder head actually looks okay, apart from the bit of valve missing there, and the actual cylinder head, the gasket here looks okay as well. It doesn't look damaged or blown or anything as such. So unfortunately, I think this will be the end of this car or this engine. I don't know if I can be bothered to change this engine. I think that's the only solution here, because all the metal that must be inside of there will be a disaster to get out, to clean. Maybe the crankshaft is damaged, I don't know. And fitting another piston, So the cheapest way out of this, I think, would be to get a second-hand engine. I'm just a bit gobsmacked and saddened that that is happened. I mean, the car has only got 50,000 miles, but shit happens, obviously. But there we are. So anyway, if you are going to remove the head, I hope this video helps. There won't be a refitting of a head, so just a removal. So again, hope the video helps. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you on the next video, which might not be on this car, but who knows. Anyway, thank you for watching.